Now, yesterday, the next boss was released, and I gotta say it was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of it in yesterday's video, but today I have some updated information and things I want to discuss. Now, firstly, I killed Nex for a significant amount of the day yesterday, so I want to cover that and any notable drops, any changes in the strategy for Nex. Now, on top of that, this morning, there were a few changes to the next fight, which I also want to cover in today's video. Hope you guys enjoy as always. If you do, appreciate a like on the video. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so we just finished up with editing my video today. I went and had a snack, got some fresh air, and we are ready to go with some more Nex killing. Now, one really interesting thing that people are doing is actually wearing Ancestral. Now, the reason people are wearing magic gear, but still using like Armadillo crossbows and twisted bows has to do with the virus special attack from Nex. Because it's so oppressive, players are actually tricking the mechanic into thinking they're maging Nex, and instead of the virus draining your ranged attack, it is actually draining your magic. So yeah, your DPS will be a bit lower, but well, that oppressive mechanic isn't as big a deal anymore. That said, that is clearly going to lower your magic defense a lot, so it might have some trade-offs. Also, a lot of players have switched over to the twisted bow. So instead of thinking for myself and coming up with a unique strategy, we're just going to go whack on the twisted bow. Now, I think the idea here is that the twisted bow, for one, is very accurate and does a fair bit of damage versus Nex, and in giant masses, anybody could get lucky with the twisted bow, high roll for a ton of hits, and you could get MVP that way, where if you are using the Armadillo crossbow or worse, you're probably never going to get MVP. At least with the T-bow, you have a chance. So we're starting off on kill number 50 today. I still have not seen any item, not in my name, not in anyone else's name, not even in the mass world, so I'm hoping to at least see somebody get something. I can't believe this. There was a minor change to Nex just an hour ago. Well, here's the tweet. To help improve the overall Nex encounter whilst player activity levels are high, they've made a very small tweak. While wearing either a gas mask, a face mask, or a Slayer helm, the duration of the cough effect has been slightly reduced. How much has it been reduced? I don't know, but I think it's just hilarious that this is the mechanic for the boss and that you can literally wear a face mask to prevent it. A funny change, but well, we're gonna try it out with the Slayer helm. Whether this will make much of a difference, I'm not sure, but I'll roll with it anyway. Oh, that's a really nice drop for just regular loot. We ended up getting Onyx bolts and Dragon bolts. Pretty much 150k drop just for normal loot. Now, because there are so many items dropped from Nex and so many people killing Nex, there was an insane amount of items on the floor. Honestly, sleazing items off the ground is pretty good money right now. So people are consistently leaving 50k stackable items on the ground. It's honestly such a mess. Now here's another inventory from Nex. Not bad actually. The regular loot is surprisingly good. If you could somehow take out all the resource drops, I think Nex would easily be over $1 million an hour, not including a unique, and thanks to all the Sarah brews and restores that Nex drops, and you can't really bank those, you're not really spending almost any money per hour in supplies, really just dragon arrows, if you're using a twisted bow anyway, and maybe a few other potions, but not much. Right now, Nex's phases are usually one shot, so it kind of boiled down to you attack Nex twice with 2 twisted bow attacks, you attack the mage once, and then you go back and attack Nex twice, and kind of repeat that for the entire kill. Nex is getting killed in as quick as a minute, which is kind of insane. Really, it's just gated by the animations and the phases. So the kills per hour at Nex are like 40 to 50 easily, at least in the 80-man world. Okay, so the mass worlds were getting a bit boring, so after I went and resupplied, I hopped worlds a bunch. I finally found a world with only 27 people in it, which is significantly less. So maybe we'll have luck with a bit less people. Oh my god, no way, I just got a Torva full helm.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god, hopping definitely paid off after only 2 kills. Torva full helm. The first unique I've ever seen, and it's mine. Okay, it's not only mine, I'm splitting it with a duo partner. But still, that's so hype, and we also got a blood essence on the same kill. So we're gonna hop over to the Grand Exchange quickly here. I'm not really sure how much these are worth right now, and whether or not I should repair it first before selling it. I'm not sure. Let's hop over and we'll have a look. Okay, I think I'm gonna repair it, definitely, not only because I'm kind of curious how you even do it, but I think it'll probably be worth it financially as well. So we're gonna go ahead and buy a Bandos chestplate and Bandos tassets because we need these to dismantle into Bandosian components. Oh my god, it took me so long to find this place. Okay, so where you actually dismantle them is right outside of the next chamber. Where you get kill count, there's a forge in the north corner. You can use your Bandos pieces on it. The chestplate gives 3 components and the tassets give 2. I bought one of each, probably should have just got another chestplate. I don't think that was worth it. We're not thinking very clearly right now. Either way, we're gonna make a ton of money. Okay, so from here, you have to bring the Bandosian component in the Torva item to an anvil, with a hammer of course. And assuming you have 90 smithing, you can repair it into a Torva full helm. Okay, I messed up. Why did I dismantle all of those pieces? I didn't need to do that. I just remember reading it was 5 in the news post, but it's 5 for the entire set. I'm an idiot. Oh my god, what do I even do with those? Okay, well, we'll worry about those later. I think we'll be able to get rid of those some way. But the most important part here, how much is the Torva full helm worth? 306 mil, not bad for a day 1 drop. I think that might actually be the most expensive drop I've ever had. I'm so hyped on that. Okay, so after day 1, players figured out that there is a pattern behind who next will use the virus effect on. I believe it goes to the person with the lowest magic defense, which means if you unequip your Armadil chestplate or put on something with negative magic defense, you are more than likely to tank the first hit. So if you have a complete lad in the corner who will take the hit and make sure it doesn't spread, the fight is so much better. Of course, sometimes there's an idiot who will run into you or maliciously spread it, and there's not much you can do about that, but it does make the fight a lot better. Oh, that's the first Nihil horn I've seen. I think that is one of the most expensive drops. Lucky for Stewie, although I think he was the person tanking in the corner, so you know what, you deserve it. Okay, so we've been killing next for most of the day, and I think I'm probably going to take a break, but just before I left here, another person got a drop for the Torva plate body, which is probably the second best item, I think. So next items overall aren't as rare as Nightmare, I would imagine. Obviously, there's so many people in here that your individual chances are quite low, but drops are definitely happening. So that is it for all of my day 1 progress. To finish things off here, I wanted to cover what changes and hot patches there have been beyond the ones I've already covered. Now, one of the biggest issues right now in the mass worlds is there is just so many items on the ground. So many, in fact, that some are disappearing. Now, generally, the server will delete the least valuable items first, but it is still annoying just having your items disappear. And although a unique item shouldn't disappear, it still feels a bit sketchy. So as of January 6th, a few hours ago, they've implemented a few changes to help reduce that. First up, the maximum player size for next battles is now going to be 60, where previous it was 80. On top of that, supply drop quantities have been decreased in higher scaled next encounters. So in smaller encounters, the supply drops aren't going to change at all, but in the mass worlds they will. In the end, you have so many supplies to work with that I don't think this will make too big of a difference, but that is one of the bigger hotfixes they've implemented this morning. Now on top of that, they've made Nex a little bit more dangerous because of how quickly Nex is getting killed. It's very boring. I mean, you just don't have to do anything. You just kind of left click on the boss and you hardly take any damage. So because of this, they want to make it so it is dangerous still for everyone. As of today, Nex's attacks are now going to hit more players. Nex will no longer preserve the order of special attacks, so they can be random. And also the soul split ability in her final phase is now going to immediately activate. Previous to this, there was a delay, but Nex would just get lit up with arrows and immediately die before she could use soul split, completely bypassing the mechanic. So they've made a tweak there to have that mechanic still be relevant. Now they've also reduced the base value of blood essence because players were dumping them into Death's Coffer for 5 or 6 times their actual value. Like seriously, I have no idea why they put the base value at 2 mil for blood essence. They were never going to be worth that much. It's only 1,000 blood runes. I don't even know why they're worth 400k each, which is what I sold mine for earlier. They've also increased the value of pretty much all the other uniques in comparison. Now the final point here is not a change they've made yet, but one that they are discussing, and that would be the ability to have private group instances for Nex. Now obviously, once things die down, this might not be as big of an issue, but assuming Nex continues to be one of the most profitable bosses in the game for a while, the worlds are going to be incredibly packed, and things will probably get more bottlenecked by only allowing 60 players per world. Now, you are able to open a private instance for yourself, but no one else can join it, which means who's actually going to be using that? A few players are trying to solo it, but you know, for the vast majority of us, that's not going to be viable. So they're discussing the ability to have it still be locked behind the hard combat achievements, but you'd be able then to invite players to your instance so you can fight it with just your friends. Now, the reason they're a little hesitant on doing this is mainly because then there is no cap to how many people can be killing next at once, which is definitely a consideration, but there's definitely needs to be a way for players to just fight next in a smaller group, like 5 to 10. If not smaller, because the mass worlds, you know, they are fun, but that shouldn't be the only way to experience the new content. So they are going to get some feedback on that, and if it's positive, then they're going to make the change pretty soon, it looks like. So it might be time to go complete those hard combat achievements. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Now, before I go here, I want to give a huge thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to FlippingOSRS, The Hybrid, Alejandra, Sejuani's Flail, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. Thank you guys so much, really appreciate it. Also a giant thank you to Ryan Shady, Mexos, Base Tidge, NDM001, and YoYoSub89 for all subscribing at the Runite tier. Really means a lot. As always, if you are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is a great way to support me directly. You will be immortalized in all of my future videos, get access to a custom role in my Discord server, and my video release schedule. Thanks again guys, and I will see you next time.